Phoibos have made a brand new watch, a new model for 2024, which is great news because the last few Phoibos watches that I've reviewed have been re-releases of existing models. So it's really nice to see something completely new from them in 2024. And in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this new Phoibos Argo, including the things that I really like, and the things that just sort of take the edge off a little bit for me. Guys, let me know if you agree. Now, you may not be aware of this, but Phoibos were best known a number of years ago for their Submariner homage, the PY007C. It was one of the best subby homages you could buy for under sort of $300-400, but they've come away from making homage watches to produce much more original designs. Nothing wrong with that. Obviously, that's a really good step forward. But this latest one, well, there's a few design elements in this watch that are a touch familiar, aren't they? I mean, look at the case. It's very asymmetrical. The case lines up with the outside edge of the bezel on the left, but on the right-hand side, it sticks out quite a bit. A little bit of Marathon Navigator in there, I think. And look at the facets on that steel ring on the inside of the bezel insert. It's got 12 sides. I'm pretty sure there's another watch that has that sort of 12-sided element on the face of the watch. What's it called again? Oh, that's right, the 12 by Christopher Ward. And it's not a bad thing. It's nice to see them taking inspiration, if that's what they've done, I'm sure they have, from other watch designs. They're not making copies. It's not even a homage, is it? It's still really quite original, but there are just a few elements in this watch that are a touch familiar. And when I unboxed this watch, I've got to say, I was really impressed. Very pleasantly surprised. It is a 200-meter diver by Phoibos. I tend to prefer their 200-meter divers because I find their 300-meter divers just a little bit sort of oversized and heavy. So what I like about this one is, well, it's going to be one of their smaller, lighter divers, given it's a 200-meter diver, and the bracelet's not quite as broad as the bracelets on a lot of their other watches. And it tapers. Yeah, sometimes their bracelets don't have any taper on them at all. They just look very straight, and yeah, I like stainless steel bracelets to have taper on them. I was also really quite taken back by those large flat facets on the case, some fairly heavy and distinctive brushing on this case. There's no mistaking the direction of the brushing. It's quite angular, very sort of rigid. I like it. I do like crisp corners on watches. I like steel finishing to be nice and crisp, and yeah, I mean, their finishing has been getting better and better, and although there's not really much polishing on this watch, it does seem to be very nicely finished. I also liked the bracelet, or like the bracelet. When I unboxed it, I just thought, oh wow, there's sort of hints of Grand Seiko or Seiko in this bracelet, isn't there? With those sort of 3 brushed links flanked by polished accents, if you like. Yeah, I like it. What I would have liked to have seen, though, is the pattern in the bracelet continue right up to the bezel. The bracelet just stops a little bit abruptly for me. That's my first sort of niggle is, yeah, you've got this beautiful design on this bracelet and then it just sort of stops. I like the bracelet pattern to go right up, you know, the lugs to be full length, basically, is what I'm trying to say, for the case not to have flat ends or flat end links. Just looks a little bit unfinished to me. I do like the bezel, though. A fairly small bezel insert, isn't it? Ceramic, polished, 120 click. It's a diver's watch, so yeah, 120 click unidirectional bezel. Have a listen. Not the most crisp clicks in the world, but the resistance is even. Yeah, perfect amount of resistance. The clicks are crisp enough. It's a nice bezel action. Double domed sapphire crystal with AR coating. It protrudes a little bit above the bezel. It's a sort of box crystal, but with double domage, which is nice. Decent lume on this watch. Always decent lume on Phoibos watches. I'll show you the lume degrading at the end of the video. Screw down case back, screw down crown, picture specifications on the case back. Logo on the crown. The logo is quite divisive still. I always see comments on the logo design whenever I review Phoibos watches. You either love it or you hate it. Well, that's not true actually, because I'm a little bit indifferent to it now. I didn't used to be wild about it. Well, in fact, I used to complain about it a little bit actually, but it's just grown on me. It's a logo. It's designed to be distinctive. When you see it, you know it's Phoibos, so it's doing its job, isn't it? I'm a little bit all over the place with this one, aren't I? Because I'm now going to jump back to the clasp. Milled clasp. Decent build quality, of course. Feels very substantial. On-the-fly adjustment, which is nice. It's not really a diver's extension. It's the sort of extension you would use day to day when you're wearing the watch. If your sort of wrist swells up, you can just let a bit out. Decent bracelet and clasp construction as well. Solid end links, solid links, screw pins, all the good stuff. Come on, guys. You're familiar with Phoibos by now. You should almost be able to tell me the specifications. Now let's take a closer look at the dial. Very strong sunburst dial. They've made similar dials before, haven't they? Really deep grain on that dial. It's a sort of fading dial. Darker around the edge. It's a lighter colour towards the centre. The one that I really like actually is the sort of silver dial one with the orange accents on the dial. Obviously hints of Explorer 2 there, aren't there? Yeah, really nice. That one sadly wasn't available for me to review, but yeah, I think they're all nice. All the colour options are good. I just think that silver one is lovely. Big strong applied indexes as well. Look at those huge squares. The squares are almost, well, I think they might even be bigger than the triangle at the 12 o'clock, which is quite unusual. Maybe not. But yeah, they are quite large, aren't they? As are the hands, and the hands are polished. There's not a lot of polishing on, well, I don't think there's any polishing actually on the case. There's polishing on the bracelets and the clasp, but yeah, they've then given you sort of polished reflective surfaces on the hands. Not a bad thing, just, yeah, wasn't expecting it. Lots of lume though with those hands, so as you would expect, an impressive lume display. Date complication at the 3, NH35 inside of this watch. Gosh, I haven't even mentioned the movement. NH35, they tend to go with the Miyota 9000 series for their slightly more expensive watches, or NH35s for their slightly more affordable watches. And yeah, you've got the NH35 inside of this one. And in terms of price, I think it's what we've come to expect from Phoibos when they launch a new watch. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think of the value for money prospect here. I think it's pretty good. Sadly, it's just a couple of design elements that, yeah, don't, well, I wouldn't say spoil it, but just sort of take the edge off it a little bit for me. Because honestly, when I unboxed it, I was really excited. And then I just saw the way the bracelet marries up to the case. And then I saw that right-hand side of the case protruding as much as it does, and I just sort of deflated a little bit. But you know, there'll be lots of people out there that like those design elements, so guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. And as always, a massive thank you from me to you for tuning in. I do appreciate it.